The immigration debate boils on in Arizona, and now it's refried. Somebody put a swastika made of refried beans on the doors of the Capitol. Is it time for the federal government to step in? Talk about sitting on the dock of the bay. You see that? Inside the gazebo? Apparently somebody missed the dock. And hooray for Hefner, how the Playboy founder saved Hollywood, literally. Even better, it's the second time he's done it. All the stories people are talking about and everything you need to know right now on The Filter. Hello again on The Filter Forefront, our top four of the day, including should the police ban all car chases? But we'll begin with this. Al Sharpton says he is going to organize a rally. The city of San Francisco is telling its own residents, boycott Arizona. And we told you about this 2 weeks ago. Apparently, news travels slowly. Now, every day, more people are coming out against Arizona's new immigration law. Protests continue. Someone actually did make a swastika out of refried beans and left it at the state capitol. Keep in mind, 70% of the people in Arizona were in favor of this law. Opponents want the federal government to step in, calling it unjust and racist. Our contributors tonight, Ron Kay from RonKayLA.com and the editor of WitnessLA.com, Ruth Waits. Our pictures are furnished by Skype. Ruth, I'm going to start with you. The president called the law misguided, but do you think the federal government should jump in here?
Well, no, I don't, Fred. This is a situation where I need to know what the jurisdiction really is. But if 70% of Arizonans feel this way, they have a right to make legislation that takes care of themselves by making laws to protect them. And this is just another case of feelings determining policy instead of facts. Is immigration not actually a problem? Am I getting this wrong? Because this is just another situation where we can't keep going crying to President Daddy when something doesn't go our way. San Francisco, you know what? Stay out of Arizona. Suit yourself. But I think that Arizonans have a right to address their problems within the law the way they see fit.
Ron?
Well, talk about the tyranny of the majority. I mean, this is a prime example of that. This is a federal problem of enormous importance that the Republicans and Democrats have danced around without fixing for decades and decades.
That's true. Are there no states' rights here, though?
Well, the states' rights were trampled a long time ago when it comes to violating the Constitution. I think you're going to see a lawsuit. It's going to get held until it wends its way up to the Supreme Court, when it'll be quite interesting to see what a conservative court does. But think about this. If you were stopped and asked to produce evidence of your citizenship, and they decided you wasn't sufficient, and they hauled you into jail and locked you up and put you through the ringer,
they can't do
wouldn't
that.
you have a lawsuit against the people of Arizona?
You
Think
have a
about
lawsuit
all the
against
lawsuits
everyone.
Hold on, hang
no
tight,
law.
Ruth, hang tight.
Sorry.
Finish, Ron, then go ahead, Ruth. We have 20 seconds.
They're going to face lawsuits. They're going to face demonstrations. Guys like Sharpton are going to capitalize on it. It's going to be a circus that its only virtue is that maybe it'll stir Congress to actually do something and enact an honest and sensible immigration policy.
Ruth, we have 10 seconds. Take the last word.
First
Go
of all,
ahead.
Al Sharpton would show up at the opening of a bag of chips. His presence is absolutely irrelevant. But I do agree there needs to be an appropriate legislation. The problem needs to be tackled once and for all. Absolutely. But I don't know that it will go to the Supreme Court, and that's where it belongs.
All right, let's move on. Now, with Cinco de Mayo just around the corner, they may not have a lot of reasons to celebrate. They being the merchants on Olvera Street. Despite carrying historic site status, City Commission has decided to hike their rent. Many could go out of business. For years, the city has subsidized rents along Olvera Street, charging less than market rates. When you're $485 million in the hole, you want every penny possible. So now rent on a kiosk will jump from $300 to $9.50 a month. Some rental shops will go from 50 cents a square foot to $2 a square foot. That's the headline. Is this a case of the little people getting picked on, or does it have to be done, Ron?
Well, look at all the little people of the city, whether they're on Olvera Street or anywhere else. We're all being picked on. This is a fiasco that has gone back a long, long time. They haven't had leases. They haven't required leases. They've let these people pay 1980 rents. They had tried to enact something that was absolutely illegal via Ragosa, tried to lock them in for the next 55 years without paying any significant rents. These people are getting away with it. My question is are they really doing the business? And if they are, why aren't we taxing their gross receipts like everybody else in this town? And why aren't they paying a fair share? It's just ridiculous what's going on. I'm not unsympathetic to the merchants there, but what are the facts? They've been making a lot of money, or else this whole thing that we've poured tens of millions of dollars into that ought to be something important, historic, and celebrated is nothing but a sort of commercial circus where these people are operating virtually rent-free.
No, you got to believe that there is historic value to Olvera Street, do you not?
Well, is there historic value in selling piñatas and general junk? I have to agree with Ron here that these people, that these rents have been so artificially underinflated over all this time that and believe me, I think it's a horrible shock for someone's rent to go from $300 to $950 a month. That's a lot to swallow. And I told Ron before I could argue either side of this because I can see how people should be able to make a living and they are selling low dollar items. But honestly, that deal that went in 1999, I couldn't agree more. A 55-year lease that basically says that the landlords don't get squat.
But this is not fair. This is a historic site, and this is part of the fabric of Los Angeles.
Then don't make it a commercial site. Make it a historic site.
Exactly. Why aren't we celebrating the Hispanic history of Los Angeles there with art and culture and museum artifacts?
I couldn't agree more.
That would be a better use of the property than Schlock City.
Absolutely. Selling crappy souvenirs.
Wow. Well, I guess I know a couple of Scrooges here tonight. All right, let's move on.